Barrett, appreciate you coming aboard. You there, man?
I'm here.
There you go, man.
Here we go. I'm here now, bro. Man, I apologize for my tardiness, man. I was trying to get in. Of course, traffic here in Philadelphia, man. But I appreciate it. Love your family, man. And yeah, man, I was blessed enough to play with two great organizations that really care about their players, man. You talk about consummate pros as far as management. I mean, look at the Steelers. They're devout Catholics. They still serve fish on Fridays, every Friday. That's how they are, man. So just a great organization to play in. And you see what's going on here in Philly. Philly's the same way. They don't like the knee-jerk reactions of just, all right, you're out of here, even though they want to make sure they lay a solid foundation, especially in the front office, since, hence Howie Roseman being here as long as he has been.
Barrett, I'm going to ask you something here. 9 months ago was the Super Bowl. In your opinion, have the Eagles closed the gap on the Kansas City Chiefs? Or do you think Kansas City's gotten better? And do you think the Eagles have what? Your opinion, have they closed the gap at all on Kansas City?
I think they closed the gap as far as the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, I think that they're about even right now. I think we had a better defense last year. I think now Kansas City might have a better defense. Of what they've done, they took two young corners and just played them, good, bad, or indifferent. Guys like Duffy and those guys were able to go out there and make a substantial, and Snead, a substantial, way in which they are playing at a high level, and they showed it early. Of course, he's been there for a long time, but, you look at a guy like Duffy, he's a first-rounder last year, starting now, playing well, started last year, started in the Super Bowl. Let him go through his bumps and bruises, and they play it out for him because he's one of the better corners in the league defensively. I mean, once they get their young linebacker back, also the linebacker from Mizzou back, once he gets back, they're going to be even better. So, you got Gay, the linebacker, he's good. Their defense is good. They're calling – right now, I think the power of that team now is defense. Then you got to go Mahomes. And I think that's why they're winning the way they're winning right now.
How about this, Barrett? The last two games that they've played, I think this could be a telling trend. You and I know trends. We believe in trends. Here's the last two game plans against the Eagles, which is incredible because if you look at what those 2021 and this last year, they were ranked like 20th in running the ball. In 21, they ran the ball 32 times for 200 yards at a 6.3 clip. The Eagles had 19 carries in that 21 game for 103.54, but because they got behind, they bailed. In the Super Bowl 9 months ago, Barrett, Kansas City ran the ball 26 times for 158, 6.1 a clip. And the Eagles 32 for 115 at 3.6 a clip. They bailed because when Miles put the ball on the turf, the scoop and score, they felt that they had to hang with them by throwing the ball. Do you think that this is going to be the important part of this game is winning first down? Because here's something on the defensive side that's not good. The Eagles surrendered the most first downs of any defense in the NFL. They're last in the league on that. First down has to be the number one priority. Do you think Monday night?
It has to be, because if you look at, Pacheco is one of the better backs in the league. You say what you want to say. This Rutgers kid went in, took the starting job from McKinney and all those guys, and is playing at a high level and playing like he wants to be the bell cow back of that team, and it's working for him. He ran the ball consistently against an Eagles defense that couldn't stop the run. It used to be the Achilles heel of the offense because everybody on first down would get at least 6 yards a pop, 6 yards a clip. Now you're in second and third and manageable all the time. Well, this should be the turning point. You know how it is on defense. During the times when it starts getting cold, you start running the ball consistently. That's when teams start jockeying for position. Understand that you're going to have to run the ball in these cold weather games. And if you can do that and control it, it's better for your offense. And those are the teams that usually do well when in playoff time are the teams that can run the ball consistently and stop the run. If you can stop first down, if first down is not your Achilles heel, and you can get them into second and long, third and long, now those guys on the outside can hunt. Now you got the Sweats. Now you got the Reddicks. You got guys like that can go out there and play pass rush. But you got to earn the right to rush the passer. It's not just given to you. You got to earn the right. So that means you got to stop them on first and second down. If they don't stop Pacheco on first and second down, it'll be a long day for that defense.
Do you agree, Barrett? This is why I say that the secondary has struggled. There's a couple factors, obviously injury in the safety position. Maybe the guys are getting a little bit older, but Barrett, I think it's the volume of pressure that they're not getting. Look, the sacks are there, but the volume of pressure that they got on quarterbacks means this: you're going to have more lengthier developing routes that are going to give you a lesser margin of error, which means that you're going to see deeper throws down the field because they play off the board and scheme, and you're allowing guys like Sam Howell to throw for 773 yards in 2 games because you're allowing these routes. Last year, they let everything underneath, Barrett, and they were able to play underneath. Now it's more in front of their face. It's kind of the volume of pressure. Second half of last year, Barrett, they picked it up. Reddick picked it up. BG picked it up. Maybe that's what they were doing, keeping them on a pitch count. But do you think that is one of the only ways that you're going to help this secondary out right now, is that you got to get more volume of hits on the quarterback?
Well, that's the problem. You know, it goes hand in hand. They're playing too far off. You got to play tighter coverage. You got to take that first read away. If you take that first read away, that means that quarterback has to hold it just for that second. You have good enough pass rushers that you can get around the corner, but you can't get around the corner if it's like 1 second and the ball is out of your hand. You know, that quarterbacks are getting the ball out of their hand like 1.8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, bam, it's out. It's out.
Pitch and catch.
You know, you can't. Yeah, you can't allow your cornerbacks to play that far off. They got to play tighter. And when you put them in position, like in the second half, that's why they're a better second half team than a first half team. In the first half, they try to say, all right, what are you doing to us? And they make adjustments. Why not go out there and put those guys on? I mean, it's not like, I understand, you're seeing Bradbury and Slay are older players, and now Roby being in the slot, they're older players. But give them an opportunity to go out there and play. Give them an opportunity to get tight on guys, reroute guys. They're good enough to do that. And if you do that, now that quarterback will start making mistakes, because when you got a guy like Sweat, tapping you on your shoulder, or Hassan Reddick tapping you on your shoulder, now things start getting a little iffy and dicey. Now you can go out there and make big plays. I think this Kansas City game is going to come up to a guy, and I think this is why Howie Roseman went out and got him, Kevin Byard. He has had the most success against Kelsey than any other safety in the league. And I think it was strategic in them going out and getting him, by the trade deadline. So, hopefully, I know you're not going to be able to stop Kelsey. There's nobody in the league that's going to stop Kelsey, but you can stop everybody else, and at least Byard can slow him down just a little bit, which will give your defense an opportunity to go make plays on Patrick Mahomes.
You know what, Barrett? I tried telling people this. The reason that you see more rotating on defensive lines is because you don't need continuity over there. All you need is playmakers, because you could have 10 guys, Barrett, blow all assignments. One guy break through the backfield, make a tackle for loss, the play's dead. But if you have one O-lineman who doesn't slip, scoop, have a flat step, pass protect, watch the backside guy, the play's blown up, and the whole thing is over with.
Absolutely.
That right guard that they have, and get this, people are going like this, well, Cam Jurgens may be back for Monday night. Well, he's going against a guy who killed you in the Super Bowl, Chris Jones. This is not going to be, you're playing a guy out of position, and you think that's automatically, he killed Isaac Seumalo, and Seumalo's had an impact on the Steelers. They're 6-3. Am I wrong? Why is that so hard? Like, for an offensive line, I mean, it really is. You've got to be in sync, and that takes years, doesn't it, Barrett? For you to have that continuity.
You got to play in concert. It's different with the offensive line and defensive. Defensive line, you can freestyle. You can go out there and play one-on-one. You can't do that with the offensive line. Offensive line, everybody is unwritten, unseen, unscripted stuff that you don't see. That, all right, I can look over my guard or look over my tackle and say, hey, you see this going on because we played against this before. We've seen this happen before. And you read and react instantly because you've been through it before.
And he may give him a little push to push him back over to his heads up on you as he's going out. He may hit him like, that's all you need, because you guys have played together.
Cam hasn't been playing for 5 weeks. No, 6 weeks now, isn't it?
6
weeks. That camaraderie, that cohesiveness is not there anymore. So, but I mean,
Chris
he is
Jones,
a better athlete.
Too.
Chris Jones is probably one of the best, if not a top 3 defensive lineman in the NFL, period. You know, there's a reason why after that first game, he saw what Detroit did to him, that they signed him that very next week. They knew they needed to get him back in the middle of that defense to solidify that defense. If they had a shot of being as good as they were last year, they had to have him back in the locker room. They had to have him back on that field. He is that much of an impact player. So at the end of the day, you know, they're going to have him, you know, playing in a way in which, all right, Lane, help him out. Kelsey, you help him out. He's got to come back and play like he never left, because Chris Jones, if you saw what happened against Dallas. You know, everybody's talking about, oh, you know, you got, you know, we're gonna put Micah Parsons out on the tackles. No, as soon as they put Micah Parsons in the game, he lined right up over the rookie right guard, and he had a field day against them. He was almost unblockable when he went into that 3 technique. So they know what they're doing. Chris Jones will be right up over Cam Jurgens, understanding that this guy hadn't played in a while. They don't know if his wind's going to be there. He didn't have that cohesiveness, you know, saying that all right, I know this is happening. I'm gonna bump you off, or we got to slip this, or I got to block down on this. Kelsey, you see this going on over here. Give me this call. They don't have that camaraderie, that cohesiveness just yet. So yeah, they're gonna have to do things a little different with Cam being there, because there's been musical chairs since Cam Jurgens been out. It's been 3 different guys start there since Cam went out.
Couple last questions for you here. You know, I try bringing this up, and maybe you disagree with me here. Last year, you had 1,300 yards rushing from Miles. You had about 750 from Jalen. That's $2,000. You had 13 TDs and 11. That's 24 touchdowns and 2,000 yards between 2 men, which gave the physical running game, because the most physical part of your run game is your quarterback. Okay? It's not, I mean, Barrett, they took Swift out in Detroit in the red zone. The Eagles take him out in the red zone. Do you think that's a little bit of where the physicality and where the run game has suffered a little bit, is because the injury to Hurts? Is that look at the production between 2 men.
There's no question about that.
24 touchdowns. That's a lot to replace, and I don't think it's been replaced.
Dan, they haven't replaced it because, number one, the threat that Jalen brings to the table as far as running it doesn't affect the defense the same way it did. So used to have a guy that would spy because Jalen's legs were so good. You know, you couldn't just, you know, I mean, it's the difference between you got 11 guys on defense and then you got 11 guys on offense. But since Jalen's not running, he's playing pocket quarterback, that means the defense is only defending 10 guys. So you don't need to have that guy there. You can have a guy in coverage now. You can bring a guy in blitzing because you're not worried about Jalen running the ball.
Do you think they're more finesse now this year than they were a year ago?
I mean, I believe that they're not doing it. They're not running the ball the way they should. And running ball is nothing but physicality. I'm going to be bigger than you. I'm going to play better than you. I'm going to hit you in the mouth. When you don't have Jalen's presence as far as running the ball, it takes away from the threat. And now you're defending only 10 men. Now you have 11 guys to defend 10. But now that I think Jalen's going to be back now. I think Jalen's going to change the corner. He's going to get back in his running. Now you're going to have to spy him a little bit. Now when he runs the read option, you legitimately have to read the read option. If that defensive end crashes down, Jalen will run now, because I think this week of rest and him understanding that we're getting into the time in which we need Super Jalen to come out of his shell, I think you're going to get that. So when you're going to get that, you're going to play in 11 against 11. And I think our 11 is better than their 11. Our 10 is not better than their 11, but our 11 is better than their 11. Put it like that on the defensive side of the ball against our offense.
Who do you think this bye has benefited more? The 27-4 Andy Reid out of a bye, or the slightly banged up and now Goddardless less Eagles going into that bye? Who do you think this thing benefited more?
Well, we know Andy Reid has not lost.
That's an insane number too, by the way.
It is, man. It is. It's an insane number, because what Andy does, the no other coach does. He knows how to read his locker room. He knows how to implement plays that takes advantage of the skill set that his guys have. He looks and evaluates, you know, and knows that he needs to. all right, I need to pull something out this player here, or let me pull something out this player. Let me run plays that'll highlight this guy's strengths. Nobody does that better than Andy Reid, and that's what makes him so good coming out of the bye, because he has that little extra time to do it. I think the Eagles' only saving grace right now is they're getting back guys that, like a Cam Jurgens, like Roby, their cornerback. Those are guys in key positions. And when you look at them going up there now, I think Jalen Hurts has a lot to prove as far as him being a guy that's legitimate, and he wants to prove that he is one of the elite quarterbacks in the league. He's already seen some guy fall off. Buffalo, they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on up there. They really don't know. But, I think Jalen's game went from being just a guy that's a dual threat who can throw and pass, that now he can be a drop back quarterback. Now you don't know what you're going to get from him. And I think he's going to be that multifaceted game that he now has will take it to another level. So it's going to be a pretty interesting game. And, player for player, I think the Eagles are a better team, but, you got to add coaching into that. And the best quarterback in the league is Patrick Mahomes, and an unstoppable force in Kelsey. But I'm still going to go with my guys. I'm going to still go with the Eagles, Jalen Hurts. And yes, Goddard is out. But I think if they're smart, they'll use a guy like Julio Jones, not as a blocking tight end, but that presence where Goddard was. And he will be a guy that could take the slack.
Maybe like Pitts in Atlanta, you move him off the ball there a little bit on the weak side, right?
We're talking about an all-pro gold jacket, a future gold jacket guy.
Knows how to get open.
Exactly. In a place where you usually put a tight end out there in the slot or maybe in a wing position and use him that way, a big frame guy. You're not worried about blocking because, he's not going to block anybody, but you can't use him in the passing aspect. We're going to miss a lot from Goddard being a blocker. Calcaterra is not a blocker, so you're going to lose that aspect, but you can gain something in that passing game with him being that threat out there and take some guys out of the box with his presence.
Finally here, Barrett, I this is what this game means to me for Jalen. Again, I doubt that he thinks it this way, but I brought this up earlier in the program. I want to show you something here. And personally, I think that this has got a lot to do with how the perception is of Hurts and how people look at him when that elite conversation pops up. Look at the NFC here. Jalen Hurts, could he play in the AFC? Absolutely. Then you go Golf and Dak. Okay. Then you go Purdy. Well, still proving it. Sam Howell. Okay. And I'm not putting guys in order. I'm just trying to name 10 guys in the NFC. Kyler Murray. A guy needs a study book, but okay. Geno Smith. Okay. A guy who was fired in the AFC. Derek Carr. Now we're talking Josh Dobbs, who's like a substitute teacher in Minnesota. Okay. And Baker Mayfield rounds out the top 10. And then you look at Mahomes. You got Lamar Jackson. Look at the Thursday battle. You got Burrow, Lamar. I mean, Joe
That's going to be unbelievable. Might be the game of the season. Herbert,
Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Stroud, Watson. I know he's out now. Russell Wilson's making a comeback. The point is that all these guys are first-round draft choices. These other guys are kind of like overachievers that have started, and Hurts has done the top of that overachieving because he's always been deemed that. And I think, like I said, if he loses this game on Monday, this is to the back of the bus of the MVP conversation. Mahomes is still going to be in it because he's got to play against some of these other guys. This guy is constantly fighting a perception that he doesn't belong with those guys. Why?
I think it's more so he came in under the vice that he was just a running quarterback. And nobody really thought that he can go in and be a
$50 million doesn't take that away, though.
Well, not new. And plus, we played for the hardest fan base to really please in the NFL, and their national narrative of who Jalen Hurts was back then. I think it took a lot longer for people to get on the bandwagon, because of that. Now, from this point on, they see now Jalen's legit. He is legit drop back quarterback. He is a legit running quarterback, and it's just going to take him knocking off last year's MVP to put him in the MVP race and have him go forward from this point on as a legitimate MVP candidate.
I think if he goes 4-1, Barrett, I think he wins it.
No question.
And I think he is going to go. I think they're going to lose to Seattle, but I think they're going to go 4-1. Shit, I heard people in Philly saying 2-3, and I'm like, I don't see that.
Right.
I think they have a great shot at going 4-1. And if he goes 4-1, I don't know how you don't give. Excuse me. I don't know how he doesn't earn the MVP award.
No question. Well, at the end of the day, everybody's saying 2-3, 3-2, 4-1. I'm saying that team has to play the Eagles. Regardless of how they played, they always find a way to win. And I'll put my money on this team twice on Sunday simply because they find a way to win. Somebody steps up and wins the game, and I like the Eagles' chances. I'm not saying they're going to lose any game. I'm going to say they're going to keep going the way they're going, keep playing the way they're playing, and they're learning so many things from these close games that's going to help them out. When the rubber hits the road, they'll be ready to roll.
You know, Barrett, I'm going to leave you on this one here too. I'm promising you this here. Listen, this is when Jalen Hurts is going to be elite. When that debate,
Yep.
You know what? When I hear hosts on the radio and I hear everyone going, this is why he's elite, and I hear a guy bring up elite 20 times, I go, he's not elite then. Because if there's a debate about it, nobody debates Patrick Mahomes.
Nope.
Nobody debates Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. If you're debating that, Josh Allen, you're debating that. Joe Burrow, you're debating that. Elite to me means consistently being in a championship setting, which he is, okay? But once that ends, then he will be considered one of the premier guys.
And not just paid like it, but
there's a lot of selling for it. You know what I'm saying, Barrett?
Absolutely.
Barrett, you know, Reggie White, you didn't have to go like this. Hey, Reggie's elite.
No.
You'd look at him and go, really?
Mr. White, yes.
Right. Really? He's him and LT. Oh, you pick one. I'll take the other guy.
Right. I appreciate you, bro, man. Thanks for having me on, man. Like I said, bro, anytime you want me, man, tell the family I say hello. My mom says hello also, bro.
Absolutely, you know man. Barrett, I love you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. God bless you, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, Tone.
You got it, man. The great Barrett Brooks, man. I totally love him so much. What a great, great broadcaster. We appreciate him doing that for us. Power Hour coming up. Please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Football and Hooters, the perfect pair.